has to be the priest. Excuse me, Reverend.
Reverend is too much of an honor, my son. I'm Father Frederick.
I see. Father, I'm Darren Michaels. You might know me already from the papers.
I do. I assume you come to confess.
No, actually I haven't. I don't have anything to confess yet.
What can I do for you then?
It would seem you've been in charge here for a long time.
What are 40 years compared to eternity?
Seems the gravedigger has also been working here for an eternity.
Mark? Oh, he does his job well. Yes, he really feels all that digging in his bones. He's been looking for an apprentice for years, but no one seems to be interested. Are you educated in a profession?
I'm a physics student.
Ah. Well, let's talk about something else.
The church here was built by Marcus Gordon, right?
The good Marcus, yes. It was the year 1213 when Marcus Gordon struck down his brother Mordred in a duel.
Marcus killed Mordred? Why?
A brotherly feud which had been smoldering for some time. Marcus embodied good, Mordred evil, according to the legend. Marcus beat Mordred. Good prevailed.
And what's this got to do with the Gordon curse? It originated in this period, right?
Yes, as far as I know. Mordred uttered the curse shortly before he drew his last breath. He put a curse on Marcus and all following generations. But that will soon be over. Lady Victoria is the last of the Gordons. The family line ends with her. Mercifully, one would be forgiven to say, as the clan has terrorized this whole region with its dreadful family history. But I'm sure you already know all of this. Seems like you are well informed.
Let's put it this way. I've been forced against my will to look at the curse in a bit more detail.
What do you mean by that?
My real name is Adrian Gordon. I belong to that clan there in the castle.
Oh, that's, I'd say, a surprise. Adrian Gordon. I thought he died as a 13-year-old. Didn't he fall down the castle staircase?
That's part of the dreadful family history that you were talking about before. But as you can see, I'm still alive.
Risen again from the dead. My congratulations and God's blessing, my son. And what is your relationship to the Gordons, if I may ask?
Perhaps you can remember Samuel Gordon?
Oh, yes, Samuel. He came to confession shortly before he... Well, you know. Yes, I remember him.
He was my father.
That explains quite a lot.
We were talking about Marcus and Mordred.
Yes, that's right. Marcus struck down his brother Mordred in a duel in the year 1213. After that, in order to atone for his actions, he had this church built here on pagan ground. A few years later, he also built the academy, also on pagan ground. It was to be used to house the Gordon Chronicles, so the curse could be researched by academics. But the academy was completely burned to the ground in 1512. Most of the chronicles were destroyed. Everything that could be recovered was brought here, to the church.
Right, but all of these stories always begin with Marcus killing his brother. Does no one know the cause of the dispute?
Well, there are various theories. Some say that Mordred was possessed by the devil. I also read somewhere that they were fighting over a woman, which is pretty much the same thing, right? Basically, it's about the fact that Marcus Gordon, the more religious and stable brother, won. Mordred is depicted as a godless sinner who's burning in hell to this day.
Do you know if the brothers were born here?
Probably not. Both were tireless crusaders in the name of the church. But why they built a castle here in Willow Creek can only be speculated on. Perhaps they freed the land of non-believers and the castle used to be a kind of keep in order to hold the area. Or they were gifted the land by the church as a reward for their support in the Crusades.
Thank you, Father. Can you tell me something about the graveyard?
Oh, it's wonderful, isn't it? You can really sense the centuries past when you're in it. According to the records, some of the graves are over 800 years old.
Probably all Gordons.
The Gordons have had their own crypt since 1512. The academy was burned down and, well, space was needed for the many dead, and that's why the graveyard was rearranged.
Those anonymous graves in the graveyard, doesn't anyone know who's buried under them?
No one, except the relatives.
Can you tell me where Samuel Gordon is buried?
I'm afraid I can't tell you in which grave he's buried, but I can understand that you'd like to know.
Is there any kind of plan of who is buried where?
Not for the anonymous graves. But wait, I think I know how I can help you.
Thank you, Father. Thanks for the help.
May the Lord be with you.
The lists of the names of all those who were buried here in August 1981. There are 5 names left. Henry Stanton, Dr. Heinz Herman, Dr. Robert Gordon, James, and Samuel Gordon. Good. And let's see who's buried here. Funerals in August 1981. William Gordon, Dr. Heinz Herman, Victor Sebastian Valley, Henry Stanton, Dr. Robert Gordon, James, and Samuel Gordon. There are 5 graves, but 7 names on the list. Too many. I can rule out Little Vic. He was buried in the Valley family grave. Anyway, he didn't commit suicide. My father did that. William's grave is back there. I've already seen it. So that means that Dr. Herman, Henry, Robert, James, and my father are buried here. Now I just need to find out which gravestone belongs to whom. A dream catcher. There's some flowers on them. Or what's left of them anyways. And a card. All a mother's love for your soul, all her contempt for your deeds. As far as I know, Samuel only had Victoria, his grandmother. This can't be his grave. A neglected grave. The most pathetic and saddest of them all. It could be my father's. A neglected grave, but still with a quote from the Bible. Mihi enim viver Christus est e mori lucrum. What the hell does that mean? Maybe, rot in hell, you sinner. Christ didn't pee on the cross for you. Or something like that. Here it says, Ichi agnas dia ki tolit peccatum mundi. A quote from the Bible and some rotting flowers. At least someone's been looking after the grave. No more clues. The clues on the gravestones don't help me. Perhaps I can ask someone about it. Mr. Gravedigger?
Yes, lad.
People don't bring flowers here very often, do they?
You mean at the back?
Yes, for the anonymous graves.
It's surprising that anyone puts flowers on those graves at all. Having said that, nothing to do with the Gordons really surprises me anymore.
So there were Gordons here.
Yes, it was Lady Victoria and her butler a few days before the fire.
I'd better be going.
Keep your eyes peeled, lad.